to infinity and beyond. If you ever wanted to know what a Temu version of Buzz Lightyear looks like, well, Neil Kuckman and the showrunners of The Last of Us have you covered. I mean, holy f***. I mean, you're telling me that you couldn't find a bigger helmet for her head? Hit the like button, my goodness, ladies and gents, and subscribe, baby. You've been really good with the likes and subscriptions. Let's keep it rolling. Oh, and if you want to see funny tweets from me, go over on Twitter and follow me at Sir Mannix. There's some real funny stuff over there, I'm just saying. Now, this is the closest thing to a Buzz Lightyear live action we'll ever get. You know, that's actually an insult to good old Buzz. Because, you know, what it really is astronaut versus potato gnaw. Because whoever made this show is on a destruction path to destroy this actress's reputation and make her look dreadful. Because one day we'll find out why RoboCop was picked for the lead actress in this. Until then, it will remain a mystery. Now, as much as I joke around with the whole looks thing, it's purely for comedic purposes and not said with any kind of vitriol. Because the real culprits, like I said, is the scumbag casting director and Neil Kuckman for putting this poor actress in a role where she's not emotionally available. He's either doing absolutely nothing with the most deadpan expression or the most extreme, almost animated reactions. She is clearly not fit for purpose. This show being a complete disaster has nothing to do with Bella's looks. It's just me trying to A, make these videos entertaining because she's a actress and not fit to be the lead character, and B, the acting is so damn terrible, coupled with the fact that the set design is so piss poor and unrealistic that we as an audience are forced to pay attention to something other than the zero non-existing acting ability. So when the camera pans to her face, it's not her acting ability that we're paying attention to, is it? It's her looks, because there's nothing else going on. The story sucks, the characters suck, the world is terrible. What do you expect all of us to do? If it was Danny Devito, I'd probably be making the same jokes, except he could act. So the onus lies with the people who put RoboCop in that position. Now, having said all of that, this episode was hot, steamy pile of garbage. It's the same reason why the last few episodes sucked balls. This might just be a tad better, but still sucks nonetheless. While I was watching this episode, it really dawned on me why I hate TV adaptations. They treat the audience like we're a bunch of downies, because how serviceable would a hospital be after 20 plus years? I'm just quickly recapping the last few episodes, and considering that this specific apocalypse began because of a pandemic, what are the chances of a hospital wouldn't be extremely damaged by the initial outbreak? How many supplies would genuinely be left after everybody's already ransacked the place within 10 minutes? Remember that this is 20 years later. What power is generated in the place? You know, it's good to know that sometime in the future, after a catastrophic event, that we won't need electricity generators whatsoever. We won't need gas turbines, nuclear power plants, no, because the moment something as severe as a zombie apocalypse arrives, your equipment will never break. The supplies will be endless. I mean, think about it. In the Last of Us TV show, something like a huge building is being powered somehow, and it will still be available until the end of time. You know, all this stuff drives me nuts. I just can't believe anything that's going on. It's like playing Elder Scrolls Oblivion. You sleep in your bed for like 1 hour and all of your damage is gone. Your health is replenished. Your magic is replenished. La la la. Perfect for you. Oh god, this is just absolutely ridiculous. Gas has a shelf life. Even medicine has a shelf life. There might be some usable tools here and there that can stand the test of time, but a building like that, without any kind of upkeep, any kind of maintenance, will be on the verge of collapse. This goes for most of the buildings they shoot these scenes in, but especially that hospital. Because it goes to my earlier point about, you know, them taking so many shortcuts. Sure, it might take a longer time to create, but let me put it like this. Think what it would do for the actors in your show. If you built a world so flushed out, they might actually create performances that people won't laugh at. And people like me won't be able to make videos talking about how utterly pathetic your dumpster juice calamity is. See, I didn't think it was possible for them to write a story that was even worse than the source material. I mean, bravo, they actually did it, but the show is 10 times worse than the game when it comes to creating a post-apocalypse world. But this is what happens when you take shortcuts. As much as I lament the embarrassment of The Last of Us Part 2, the game is way more cinematic than the live action, and this live action show has real people in it. You'd think that bringing real people would make it look real. No, not in the hands of people this incompetent. How come a fully game-rendered cutscenes have more human emotions and immersion than live action? I'll tell you how: incompetence and bad casting. Because in the games, they worked very hard to nail the little details like lighting, set design, the rocket, only for the live action to literally wash all that things out and act like it doesn't matter. It was like the director and the showrunner said, it. We'll just figure it out on the day. I mean, the director even said, if I'm not mistaken, that he takes every actor's idea and then uses it. No matter how obtuse or silly it might be, yeah, that's a recipe for a really good show there, buddy. He also made a very weird quote. He said he likes Dina's actress's smile, which I thought was, wow, that's kind of odd, because I thought we had a problem with male directors making creepy comments about actresses in the stuff they direct. But hey, apparently not. See, none of these people have any kind of consistency. See, I need to make this clear once again. The first Last of Us was incredible. It excelled probably in more ways than they even intended it to be. It excelled because it was simple, a self-contained story about a broken father finding a surrogate daughter in the post-apocalyptic world. And then you compare that to the second game, which was directed by Neil Kuckman, was fragmented, disconnected, just an overall immature mess written by someone who is obsessed with identity politics, willing to torpedo any kind of goodwill by inserting his own weird revenge, forgiveness fan fiction. So when the people who never played the game end up watching the show, I had a buddy tell me, how did The Last of Us get this bad? When the normies ask that question, it's, well, easy. Neil Kuckman. There's your answer. It's fairly simple. This is what happens when modern day writers care more about identity politics and fantasy over realism and good storytelling. That's how we end up here. Now, when it comes to this episode, I think the internet can somewhat agree that Pedro Pascal was probably the best part. Considering the fact that he's getting paid 600 grand an episode, he well better be. As much as I think the guy is a massive dork, what he brings to the table to this show can't be denied. You might make the argument that, is Pedro really that good, or is he good when he's compared to this utter doorknob named Bella? And you know what? You might have a point. See, that gets me to the porch scene that everybody keeps talking about. Now, these people couldn't even get this scene right. It's embarrassing. How hard was it for Neil Kuckman just to copy the dialogue word for word? It would have been fine. But no, he just had to add his own little weirdo fluff in there. It was his attempt at saying, you will agree that Joel is a bad guy. I mean, the whole second half of the episode was designed to make Joel seem like a villain. Like he was confessing to some kind of murder, which it absolutely wasn't the case. Trash, more trash. The whole show is just bollocks. I mean, these absolute dickheads feel no shame in over something so beloved. A character that everybody loves, just 100% sloppy writing with not a care for anything in the world. So my review is that this episode was just slightly better than the previous ones, but still absolute dog shit. Manix out.